Yeah, good morning. It's Saturday again. I'm just doing a time waster this morning. I went and picked this up yesterday. It's a realistic, which is Radio Shack, cassette player, dual bay, um, probably from, I don't know, the 80s, late 80s, mid 90s. It was at the point where cassettes were kind of going out, maybe, and this is certainly not the top of the line cassette player you could get from Radio Shack. But I like Radio Shack stuff, and it looked like it was in fairly good shape. I paid that much for it. Um, didn't expect it to work, but it actually does, and I'll show you that in a minute. But also kind of moving some stuff out. This is one of the last versions of a battery powered bump and go action toy that you could buy. I remember when I was growing up in the 60s, early 60s, I was a kid. You could buy battery powered toys from Japan that had lights on them, and they were motorized, and they would do things. And at the end of the arc of battery powered toys, you ended up with this, which is made in China, probably Taiwan. I think this is from the late 70s, but it's got quite a few lights on it. It moves. It's got the pistons, the lit up pistons on it, brake lights. The driver moves back and forth. It's got the weapons you can put in his hands. I've got the box for it. I've never actually powered it on, but I just think it's cool. But it's like entirely plastic, so if you dropped it, it would break. In the old days, we used to throw the metal ones around the room, and they would just keep going. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook this up to this guy, and this is marketed Montgomery Ward's mechanical logic control, full automatic, stop, soft eject. It's got dual amplifiers in it, so you've got two different volume controls for either side, which is pretty nice. Stereo FM, AM, tape, and auxiliary. I'm going to run a CD player through the auxiliary. I've got it powered on right now. I've got a station tuned in, but I don't want to run anything. This is a Crown. It was built by Crown. And if you guys have never heard of Crown, they made a lot of stuff in the 60s and early 70s. Very, very nicely built stuff. They mostly made, back in the 60s, a lot of transistor radios. But the thing about this particular radio, although it's Mark Montgomery Ward's, the cassette player does not work. The auxiliary input works. The tuner works great, but the cassette does not work. And somebody else had done a video on this a couple of years back where they had one of these that was actually marked with a Crown badge, and they took it apart, and it was horrific. I mean, you literally have to take this entire thing apart. There's a lot of boards in here, a lot of hand-to-hand wiring. The whole time he was doing the video, he kept commenting about how complicated it was just to get to the head unit on the cassette player. I think it took him like hours just to get to it. And when he got there was stuff scattered all over the table. There were screws everywhere. There were wires sticking out. I don't feel like doing that. I'm not lazy. I'm just realistic. Spent a lot of years working on stuff. Some stuff's easy to work on. Some stuff isn't easy to work on. And in a professional environment, there was equipment that was coming out every year that we had to get trained on and work on. and some of it, some of the text just didn't want to deal with because it was so complicated to work on. And if the call came up in the queue, you were supposed to take the next call, but a lot of guys would dodge the call and pretend like they were at another account. So they would hope somebody else would pick the call up. Well, this unit's kind of like that. I really don't want to take it apart. I don't need for the cassette to work on this at all because I have a cassette player. I've also got other cassette players. Probably got like 10 or 12 cassette decks that are better than anything I could get out of this anyway. So I use this for an amplifier, and I also use it for just a listen to radio. It's pretty sensitive. It's got good sound. So let's go ahead and get this thing powered up and run this tape through here and see what it sounds like. All right, I've got this powered up. There is a power light on it. Let's go ahead and play something. I'll rewind it a little bit. It's actually got some pretty good belt tension on it. You can see the tape direction, so I'm rewinding. I think I ran all the way through the tape last night. That's enough of that. YouTube's gotten very, very bad about they've reduced the amount of time it takes to get a copyright strike. It used to be 20 seconds. I think it's down to like 6 now. So hopefully it won't pick up just the intro on that song. We all know what that song is. I've had this thing for quite some time. I've had this for 6 or 7 years. I bought it at a Savers in Kansas City. And if you don't know what a Savers is, it was a large thrift chain that had really good prices, and they had a lot of inventory because they got stuff in constantly. It was huge. It was like the size of a Costco, and there'd be cars lined up outside the drop-off bay giving stuff to donate to them, and their prices were really, really reasonable. I think I paid $6 for this. But the interesting story about this was I was in there bumping around, didn't really see anything I wanted to buy, and I kind of went over to where the home appliances were, and somebody had put this up on the shelf behind a blender or something, and I went, ooh, and I picked it up, and somebody came up behind me and tried to grab it out of my hand. So a little argument ensued there, but I won the fight. So I have it, and I've taken care of it, and I'm happy with it. And there's a story for you. But this cassette player, it's got sliders on it, so I think that puts it in the late 70s to early 80s. They stopped using sliders after about 85, I think. But this, like I said, this is not their highest model. But it's pretty good. It's a nice unit. Take you around the back of the Montgomery Ward badged Crown boombox. You can see it's got inputs, it's got tape out, it's got audio in, or auxiliary in this. It takes a line source. Montgomery Ward. I don't see a date on there, do you? Made in Japan. You can't get any better at this point in time than to find the older stuff that's made in Japan. But it's the Crown. I don't see a date on it. But then here's the back of the Radio Shack Realistic Stereo Cassette. It's catalog number 14-637. It's got really cheap Masonite backing to it. Where was this made? In Taiwan? Yeah, Taiwan. Things in Taiwan are still made better than stuff that's just made in China. And there's my toy again. So you can actually, in case you've never tried it, running a cassette or a DVD player through a small high-powered boombox like this. This thing's probably 25 watts. Don't take my word for it, but it does put out quite a bit of power. It does have dual amplifier sections in it, which I think is really cool. But boy, if you could see the inside of this thing, you'd be like, oh my gosh, there's like, the whole thing's just packed. There's like 6 or 7 layered boards on here that are all crammed into this thing. And this one little unit, if you can believe that. And it weighs a ton. This thing weighs about 11 pounds. So anyway, and it's also got coax speakers on it, which I thought was cool. Doesn't have regular, it's got a combination driver and tweeter coax thing. Sounds great. So anyway, that's where we're at here. It's more of a show and tell than anything else, but I guess if I keep posting stuff, maybe people will get used to me and actually start watching my videos. Because I'm sucking hind wind on the subscribers. I pick up about 2 or 3 a week if I'm lucky. At that rate, I will long be gone. I'll be gone a long time before I ever hit like 500 subscribers. So if you're watching this and you feel sorry for me, go ahead and subscribe. All right, that's kind of what I got. I'm not gonna go on too much longer. Anyway, I hope you like my channel, like me, don't care, but at least you can hit the subscribe button. That's pretty cool. Gold flashed. At least they tried with this thing, you know. I mean, it's kind of cool. Maybe I'll put batteries in it someday. Bye.